Hi there, food FAQers. This is Mariela.
And Eric. Happy Friday Eve.
Woo! Oh, I love that. That's so optimistic. I love that.
It is. This is I'm in charge of coming up with the sayings. And you just go with it.
I just adore them.
I know.
So today we're making something Asian, which, in coming up with these menus with you, I realized just how much Asian food I really do cook.
Yeah, you do.
I love these flavor profiles and my kids love them too, which is probably why I make them so much.
Well, your kids, like we've always talked about, they have a good palate.
Absolutely.
They have a when you guys were in town a couple weeks ago, their palate was very open and they were very open to trying new things too.
Right.
Which is great, especially with children that age. It's hard for them a lot of kids have a hard time trying things and your kids were very open. And what I like about what your kids, honestly, Madi, you know what I like is if your kids do not like something, they still tried it.
Right.
And then verbalized it. I don't like that.
Yes.
And you were not going to push it. You were just tried it. Cool.
Right. We call it a no thank you bite. I got that from some cartoon. I don't even know, honestly. It's probably Daniel Tiger or something. But that's like a rule. We have a no thank you bite. You try it and you can say no thank you. But at least you tried it.
That was a rule growing up in my house. You didn't have to eat it, but you had to try it. And just tried it. You don't like it. Cool. You don't have to eat it. It's not a big deal. But your kids were really great about trying everything. So
food, for
it's
sure.
Not a shock that they have an open palate like this.
So this recipe I have been using from the New York Times for a few years now. And my husband really loves, that bourbon chicken in the mall?
That is one of my favorite chickens in the mall.
Oh my God. He loves that shit. And I'm always trying to recreate it for him because I think it's delicious, but I don't know what, me, I'm a little weird when it comes to food and I'm like, I don't know why.
You weren't always like this sometimes though.
I was not?
No.
Oh, I don't know. The chicken is weird there and it's dark meat chicken and I'm surprised you don't have an ick.
Well, okay. You're right. Cause I don't like dark meat chicken. So here's the thing. When I do eat that, I like the taste of it, but some of it is kind of gelatinous-y.
Yes.
And that's the pieces I actually have to pick out.
Right.
Because it'd be a little gelatinous-y. So you are right. And I will say when you buy it at the food courts and things like that, it's just nothing but just an assload of sugar caramelized. Yeah. There's not a lot of flavor profile to it.
Sweet and salty.
It's just sweet and salty and that's it. And that's why I like it. So I understand where you don't really like it or you raise an eyebrow to it. And you don't know how long that chicken's been fucking sitting out too. So that's the other thing.
No, I don't want to be judgmental. And listen, I eat mall food when I need to, but I don't know, man. It's weird. But anyway, this came from that and it's a teriyaki chicken recipe that I make. This is another weird thing about this recipe, but I guess I'll get into it. So what do? I get a small saucepan and I'll put roughly about a cup of soy sauce, depending on how many chicken thighs. And this is another thing. I buy boneless, skinless chicken thighs for this because it is the only chicken that'll stand up to a good sear in the air fryer.
Yeah.
That'll keep its juiciness. So I use chicken thighs for this. And I'll go ahead and put them inside a big, tough plastic resealable bag. And that's where I start. And then I go to the stove and on a medium flame, I'll put in roughly about a cup of soy sauce. I'll put in a good amount of sugar, y'all. Maybe a quarter cup brown sugar because I like it sweet. And then I'll go ahead and I'll use what is that little grater called? Gosh, I can't remember the name of it.
Grater?
Not a grater, a microplane. And I microplane the at least 6 cloves of garlic. I like it nice and garlicky. I'll pop in 2 of the frozen ginger. I don't know if you've seen these frozen ginger thingies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So good because having ginger is a pain in the ass and having to grate it when it's nice and cold is a big pain in the ass because it's cold and it hurts your hands. So buying it already mish-moofed in little packs is the best. I might put 3 in there because I like ginger too.
Do you know what your frozen ginger is, Madi?
Frozen ginger?
It is my already peeled tangerines that I purchased.
No, it is not. That is bullshit.
It is. So, you know what? Waiting for your husband to hear this episode. Go on.
Wrong again. Listen to me. And then I'll put in a cinnamon stick if I have it, or I won't put it in at all. But the cinnamon stick does add a little cuteness to it. Okay. And then I'll have that, and I might add a little water too. If I think it's a little viscous, I'll add some water because you're going to boil this so that it all comes together and you dilute the brown sugar and taste it. Okay. If you think it needs more soy sauce because you like salty and not so sweet, then do that. Taste the sauce. Okay. Because you're going to be eating this sauce. So then I'll put it aside, let it cool for a moment, right? So it's not too hot. Then when it's cool to the touch, I will pour it into the bag where my chicken thighs are waiting for their bath. I close it up. I'll put it in the refrigerator overnight. Next day, I start my rice cooking because it takes about 20, 25 minutes. White, fluffy rice. Then I'll pull out the chicken. I'll lay it on I have an air fryer that looks kind of like a toaster oven. So I put things in there. I can put more capacity than like a regular basket one.
Right.
I'll pop them in there. I'll start air frying them. And then you take the sauce, which sounds kind of gross, but you take the sauce that it's been marinating in and you pour it into a saucepan and you boil it.
Yes.
And I don't know why it's like this in the recipe, but it does work. And I guess it's like you're not wasting, you know?
You're not wasting it. And the thing is, like, it's so I guess for anybody who's wondering, you know, when you know, because that was marinating the raw chicken, but when you boil it, you're getting rid of any of the bacteria, anything like that was in the raw chicken. So it's perfectly safe.
Yes. So when I do boil it, I notice like I have to skim it a little bit because some stuff comes off. So you skim that and then you add about a slurry of cornstarch, which is about a tablespoon of cornstarch and a tablespoon of water that you mix together until you see no lumps. You pour that puppy in there. And then once it boils again, you'll start to see the sauce thicken and it'll resemble that bourbon chicken kind of glazy goodness that you get from the mall.
This is like 1,000 times better than the mall.
Oh my God.
Like,
yes.
This is,
a lot better. And then, so all of this is happening. Your chicken is cooking. You're making your sauce and your rice should be done by now. Then what I'll do is I'll get a head of broccoli. I'll cut off the florets or whatever, however you like it. And then I'll steam the broccoli, which by the way, I don't know if everyone steams broccoli the same way. So I guess I'll share because maybe you can tell me. I have a glass bowl. I pop the broccoli in there. I put a little water and then I put saran wrap on top of the bowl and then I'll microwave it for like 2 minutes.
Is that what you do? That is exactly what I do.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And I just started doing that because I used to roast my broccoli just out of habit all the fucking time and it takes too long.
It does. Roasted broccoli is really good though, but it does take too long, but it is really good. I do like when it's roasted, but yeah, I do the same thing in the microwave.
Yeah. And it cooks quickly and it cooks well and it's not overdone really ever. It's always pretty good when I put 2.5 minutes on a big head of broccoli.
Yeah.
And I serve that just like that. And I will cut the chicken up and I'll mix it in with the sauce. And everybody's like salsa-palooza and the broccoli and, I'm hungry for this. I want this. And I recently made it.
Sounds good.
But we were talking about this and you said you'd never made teriyaki sauce from scratch, which now that you hear about it, isn't it easy?
No. Well, not only is it easy, but just like, you talk about the cinnamon stick and things like that. And it's a whole complex layer of flavors.
Yes.
And so it sounds really good. But no, I've never made teriyaki sauce from scratch. I haven't done it.
But you have done something special.
Okay. So this is like, how do we describe this nicely? So we're just going to say it's just the trashy version of what to do with teriyaki sauce. So what I do is I just take thin, like chicken cutlets and I put them in like freezer bags. I marinate stuff in freezer bags all the time because I just toss it. It's something less to wash.
So earth friendly. We bitch about the earth being hot. We're like, fuck that.
Earth is dying, but not because of me. So everybody else, it's everybody else's thing. So I go ahead and I put them in there and then I just pour teriyaki glaze in there. And I think it's like McCormick. Like they have like some like teriyaki pineapple glaze. Again, it's probably just an ass load of fucking sugar. And you just throw it in there and let it marinate like overnight. And then the next day I take it out and set your oven to like, 350, whatever. And I shake and bake it.
Yeah.
And I throw and shake and bake in there and I put it in the oven and it's thin. So remember, it's going to cook pretty quick. And when it's done, it's shake and bake and it's delicious, but it's not just regular shake and bake. It's totally teriyaki flavored, Madi.
Yeah. So
that is just the
poor man's katsu.
The poor man's way. The poor man's chicken katsu. And it is so fucking good.
That sounds so good.
It's just simple and really good. That's all.
I'm going to make that. I'm making that next week. 100% I'm making that.
The kids will love it.
I'm going to love it. Like, I feel like this is going to be really yummy. Oof.
It is really, I'm telling you. And it's just like simple. And like, I used to make it when I first started living on my own because when I first lived on my own, I didn't know how to really shop for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be like, what the hell am I going to do with like 7 pounds of chicken here? And, and of course I would eat it for like 3 or 4 days, but
of course
it's really good.
No leftover left behind.
No leftover left behind. Okay. So it was just really good. So that's my way of doing it. This obviously does not compare at all to what you're doing. Because
I beg to differ. I want to eat that shit too. Like, I want to eat all the things. I'm not sneaky.
It's good. And I'm going to tell you something little secretive too. Because it's like thinly sliced chicken breast and, you got it. I'm telling you, put that between King's Hawaiian bread. Ooh. You got a sandwich. See, like the good thing is like, if like, I can be really bougie when I want to be, but if you just want to be like down home and fat, I can totally like teach people how to do that too. And it's great.
You and my husband have really taught me that.
Yeah. We've always had the same taste in food. So
very odd combinations of things that I'm like, what the fuck is that? You just have to try it. You just have to try it at least 3 times. You never know. You just have to
just trust us on this one and just try it.
It might be good with that poor man's chicken katsu. What if you got some of the sauce, right? The jar sauce. Mm-hmm. And you add a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of like fresh stuff to it, and then a little bit of the slurry, and then you can make a sauce to dredge like over the top.
It's very thick. You don't really need the slurry, but what I can, you gave me an idea, and oh my God, Marty, this is actually a really good idea. You know how we talked about last week? We talked about how to doctor up jar spaghetti sauce. I never thought until right now to doctor up
teriyaki
jarred marinades.
Yeah,
like other marinades, like holy shit.
This makes good sense, Eric.
We can do a whole fucking episodes on this.
We're going to start.
Oh my God. Stay tuned. Stay tuned, everybody.
We're going to be trying these things out and we're going to
report back. Everybody, y'all need to stay tuned. This is going to be a whole fucking series because this is, I don't know why.
Ooh, we're going to call it The Doctor is In.
Listen, we're sober too. So this is like real. Anyways, I love your idea, Marty. I love this.
Teriyaki chicken.
And I think this bourbon chicken, that's what's called in the mall.
It's bourbon chicken. Yeah, but this is not that.
But this, you could add probably a little bit of bourbon to your sauce too.
Absolutely could do that.
But totally take it to a nice level. So yeah, but I love what you're doing and I love the complex of flavors. And I will say I was really blown away by adding the cinnamon stick in there.
Yes.
Because that's going to add such a dimension to it.
It's
going to add warmth to it.
Yeah. And like aromatic.
Yeah.
Teriyaki's yummy.
Really nice.
Anyway, y'all, we're on Thursday, man.
Listen, you all were here for our epiphany. Get it? It's a small epiphany. So I am so excited that you all were here for this epiphany because you guys are like at the cusp of something very exciting.
Oh my God, I love epiphanies.
Yeah.
Man, I love you, Eric. Jesus.
I love you too, Marty. This is fun. This is good. All right,
you guys. So one more day. We'll be back tomorrow. And
tomorrow is Friday.
Friday.
Tomorrow is Friday, guys. You've waited all week for this.
TGIF. Remember when we used to watch Urkel on TGIF?
Family Matters. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to leave you with that, old people. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Love you.
Bye.